Hey everybody. So when a person has, for lack of a better word, like an addictive relationship with things that are sugary, right? Sweet. So we have to ask ourselves, what's going on with that? And there's a lot of books you can read, a lot of ideas that are very legitimate. And I'm going to be talking about different things. So like, for example, what I don't want to do is be too extreme. I'm caught in a way because in my life, when I have a very delicious, diverse, amazing, but absolutely healthy diet, my body responds really great, of course. And yet, because our culture, every culture, not just my culture, my gosh, in Istanbul, everyone is drinking, or they're eating and drinking and practically breathing and injecting sugar into their veins. I mean, from Turkish Delight to every single little tiny glass of tea that you get is probably half sugar with a little bit of colored tea liquid water mixed in with it. I mean, it's insane. And Asia and just all over the world, we as humans love sugar because we love berries and we love apples, and we are drawn to foods that have sugar in them, which is really great when you only find them in little tiny amounts, raw and natural, the way God and Mother Nature intended. Well, that's great. So when a person has this audacious idea of only eating a healthy diet, we feel like we're extreme because it's rare. And rare is often something you get when you have sort of a radical, extreme type of, approach to something and so I tend to not want to be extreme. I like to be balanced. And so one way that plays out in my life is that when I do decide that I want to live more in alignment with God and Mother Nature, the way I was designed, right? Is I want to avoid those markers or indicators of extremism. Now, one of those would be a purging instinct. I don't mean purging like throwing up. I've literally never done that in my whole life. I never would. But like when I went raw, a lot of people I ate 100% raw for a year while I was nursing 2 children. And a lot of people who go raw, one thing they do is they go through their whole kitchen and they take everything out of the kitchen, throw it away or give it away or get rid of it. And they want to just have 100% only raw things in their kitchen. And, that can be smart. I guess that can be useful and valuable. But I had a husband who wasn't interested in doing raw. So here I was, a mom, nursing a 6-month-old and a 3.5-year-old on my own, wanting to do this, preparing food for the family, and I had a husband who just, when I suggested the idea, all enthusiastic and excited about it, somehow he just was like horrified and really angry I would even suggest it, and absolutely insistent that there was no way he would do that. So I wasn't going to be able to have no cooked food in the house. And I did fine. I was 100% raw for a year while nursing 2 kids. And it was fun and exciting and enjoyable and great. And it was great. It was fabulous. And it felt great. So, but why was I eating that little ice cream? It's because a while ago I had bought some little round mochis. And my feeling is I don't want to waste money. I don't want to be so, I see sometimes that a person who has the ability to throw out food because they've decided they want to only eat healthy food, there's a level of wealth, privilege, opportunity to that. And it bothers me, the idea of wasting food. Not in an unhealthy way. Like if I am hungry, not hungry anymore, and I have my food on my plate, I'll just stop eating. So I didn't grow up in a family where like you have to eat every bite. It wasn't like that. But I just don't want to, in a cavalier way, respond to food as if it doesn't have value. So when I decide that I'm going to eat healthy, I want two things. I want, one, hello, Kitty, to be able to do that even though I have all sorts of cooked food or unhealthy food around me. I have housemates. They might be eating cupcakes or brownies or whatever around me. I want to be healthy. I mean, emotionally, mentally healthy. So when I look at what's in my house, I think, okay, I know I want to be eating salads with, healthy meat and certain things, but I do have some noodles. So do I throw them away? Do I give them away? Do I donate them? Or do I keep them because they are shelf stable and one day in the future I might need them? Do I eat them bit by bit because I want to prove that I can have some moderation, right? So I tend to not want to throw things out. So in particular right now I'm moving, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, that it would be great if eating the way God and Mother Nature intended and eating the way human beings have pretty much eaten for almost all of human history up until very recently was actually considered the norm. It would be great if what was considered weird was, people who ate a lot of denatured, unhealthy, overly sugary food all the time, that was the rare thing. And we just have a society where it's not the case right now. And so as I'm looking at what's in my house, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to buy any more sugary things. That means the things in my house that have sugar in them right now, I want to not waste them. I want to eat them bit by bit. And as they go away, I want to not replace them. So tonight it was an evening where I was doing a lot of watering, and I thought I'm going to eat a couple of those a green tea mochi and a little mango mochi, and they're really small and they're low calorie, and it's not like a giant thing of ice cream. And I was like, that's great. But what it brings to mind to me is the thing I have to figure out. So when a person wants to live with a healthy diet in a culture where unhealthy is so pushed in so many ways, we have to start to figure out, how are we being pushed? Where are we vulnerable? What habits have we adopted? What habits do we see in books, on TV, around us in people's lives? We have to figure out all these things and understand why we are vulnerable to something that maybe another person might not be. There are people out there who don't like sweet foods, but they really like things that are fatty and salty, or they really love starches, like potatoes and bread. I'm not a huge fan of potatoes and bread. But ultimately, at the blood sugar level, they all do the same thing. The candy bar, the bread, the potato, the big bowl of rice, and the chocolate ice cream, they're all going to hit us in the same way when it comes to the glucose in our blood. So I was thinking to myself, what is it? Am I interested in the taste? Am I interested in a feeling of reward? Am I looking for energy? So I came home, and on my way home, I remember this very interesting, happened today. On my way home, I was feeling not hungry. I'd had a good salad with meat later in the afternoon at work, like a late lunch. And I came home not hungry. And I had medium, even keel energy. And as I stepped into my house and started to go up the stairs, which goes straight up towards my kitchen, all of a sudden I realized that my brain went to, what can I eat to get energy? And I noticed it, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I have energy. But that thought just ran through my head. I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I tend to come home after a long day at work. I come home and I have to immediately go to work again. So like some of these days I get up around 5 or 5:30. I work for 3 hours loading up stuff and going to Seattle with my son, helping him get his business set up. I come back home on the ferry. I drive straight to work. And then I work for 7 hours or 6, 7, 8 hours with a lunch break in the middle. So 10 to 6, 8-hour window. I take a lunch break in the middle. And then I come home and I'm like, time to go to work, because now I have to water the garden, or I have to clean the dishes, or I'm, going to make syrup, or I have to go to the, commercial kitchen to do that, and I'm just like nonstop working. So for me, when I come home right now, I have this pattern that's developed of I come into the house and I'm like, what am I going to do to give myself a burst of energy so I can pull myself together and get back out there and go mow the property, weed, water, whatever. And so for me, for example, that's a really good thing right there. I'm like, oh, well, then that's something I can start to pay attention to, start to be aware of. Yes, Kitty, I'll let you in a minute. He's very, very, very vocal. He's not going to stop. I'll be right there. See, this is why the video is going to stop, because I have to let my cat in, Mr. Grumpy. So these, like, I'm going through this. If you're going through this, you're not alone. If you're not going through this, that's fine. You're going through your own thing. But yeah, so I think for a lot of us, we don't want to be extreme because we're worried that a person who tries to be extreme will then eventually hit a wall and like fall off the cliff. And we don't want to waste food. We don't want to be that person who's so entitled or wealthy or whatever that they can waste food in a world where some people can't. All these things. And so one thing that I think works well is the I will not replace it. So that means that some people might be like, ooh, look at that chocolate bar. I'm going to save it because I want to have chocolate on Christmas, and I'm going to save it, put it in my stocking for Christmas. Someone else might say, I'm going to just eat whatever it is I want to eat, and I just won't replace it, because the sooner it's gone, the sooner I will have naturally sort of purged my kitchen of bad foods by simply eating my way through them. Now they're gone, and now that's a way of getting to that clean kitchen without throwing things away. And so you do you. But if you are going to purge, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's say you're an alcoholic and you're like, you get all the booze in the house and you dump it all down the toilet, right? We see this in movies and whatnot, and you throw all the bottles out into the recycling, get them gone, right? If you want to purge, fine. Know yourself, do what works. But if it's something that's has any form of health potential as a food, share it with someone. If it hasn't been opened, donate it to a food bank. And if it's something like alcohol or maybe sugary things that are really not healthy necessarily, then maybe those are things you throw away. And you're like, I'm so committed that there was a sale on ice cream at my grocery store, and I bought 5 half gallons because I was having a party, and I got root beer because I wanted to make root beer floats. And then everyone was having so much fun, we forgot about the root beer floats, and they all left at the end of the party, and now I have 5 half gallons or whatever of ice cream and a bunch of bottles of Coke or root beer. And what am I going to do? Well, call around. Do you have any friends? It's summer. Maybe they're having a party, and say, hey, I'd like to give these to you. They're in perfectly good shape. They're not opened. I just don't want them. And then that could be great. So, if you have the ability to avoid wasting food, I think that can be better than just the purge. But mostly I think you need to figure out what's going to work best for you. And then start to notice. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm like, oh, when I come home, I immediately think I need energy. You know what I could do? I could decide that when I'm going to come home, I'm going to relax and do absolutely nothing and watch a TV show, brush my teeth, and go to bed as soon as the sun goes down. And then I'm going to wake up at 6 in the morning, and I'm going to have like 2 hours before I need to get ready for work. And I'm going to go ahead and water in the morning. And so I could flip it completely. And that way I wouldn't come home with a very legitimate belief that I should make myself an iced coffee that I can drink while I run around doing chores, because I am legitimately tired and I'm trying to stay awake long enough to get more work done. And that is also a habit that's been mine for a very long time, which is where I just go, 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 go. And if you're trying to do more than you can do easily, you're going to try to cut corners, right? And for me, it's going to be, I'm going to drink coffee, or I'm going to drink black tea, or I'm going to, I don't know, like just somehow try to eat something that will give me energy or keep me awake. And that may be a habit that for 1 month out of this long life of mine, why don't I try doing it different? Maybe I'll surprise myself and discover I love something different. So once again, we've got nothing to lose. We might as well experiment. We might as well play with life. Have some fun. Don't take everything so seriously, and fucking experiment. Wouldn't it be great if when you died, you had sort of lived 3 or 4 different types of lives, your own life in multiple ways, instead of just doing one personality type, one life, one strategy, one cohesive thing, and that's it. I mean, like, that's fine if that's what really feeds you. But a lot of times I think we get in a rut, or we just feel like we've defined ourselves and we have some reason we have to stay the way we are, but we don't. So, all right, those are my thoughts for today. Who knew all that could be going on inside this head? And by the way, yes, I'm aware the lighting in here totally bleaches me out. Isn't that funny when you walk in like a bathroom at a restaurant somewhere and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I am drop dead gorgeous. And then you can go in another bathroom with totally different, like, fluorescent lighting, and you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm a zombie. I know. People who are really good at doing this type of recording, podcasting, fun stuff, whatever, definitely probably pay attention to the lighting. But I'm going to try to keep a little bit more real than that. So this is me in my bedroom. I hope you all have a good night. Bye.